Yo, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Super Bowl 55. It's finally here after one of the craziest NFL seasons of all time, from Tuesday night, Wednesday night games, cancellations, all types of stuff. We have finally made it to the end, and we are playing in the 55th edition of the Super Bowl. I've already made a video about why I think this is going to be Super Bowl for the ages. We've got the GOAT going up against the quarterback of the future in the NFL, and what in itself is just going to be an all-time matchup. And Super Bowl 55 is going to be a game that I think just about everybody is looking forward to. And in this video, I will do a full breakdown of that game. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Right, so getting straight into the matchup. Looking at these two teams, obviously that wouldn't be here if this wasn't true. They are two of, if not the two most talented teams in the NFL. I mean, I've talked all playoffs long about how Tampa Bay has an embarrassment of riches on offense, and when they can get it all to come together, they can make a run in the Super Bowl, and that's exactly what they've done. And then Kansas City as well, I mean, their talent just speaks for itself. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce just also absolutely loaded. So looking at the matchup, Kansas City, it's 3-point favorite. The over-under is 56.5. Nothing, these are pretty good numbers. I personally would probably bet the over, but, you know, do what you want to do on that one. But there's plenty of storylines going into this game and plenty of interesting things to look at. And the first one, I won't speak too long on this. I made a whole video about it, but Brady versus Mahomes. We get to witness a possible passing of the torch moment in the NFL, something you don't get to see in sports very often, maybe only but every 20 years or so. So I think we all should just be thankful and enjoy watching that. And obviously, you know, two best quarterbacks in the league right now as well, so that'll be a fun one to watch. Another storyline, these teams did play earlier this season. The Chiefs won that game 27-24. The Chiefs absolutely went off in the first part of that game. I mean, Mahomes for the game threw for 462 yards, and then Tyreek Hill had 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, just an absolute amazing offensive display from Kansas City. But Tom Brady and the Buccaneers did come back. They made it a game, they made it close, but did not have enough in the end to win. And they will be playing again also at Tampa Bay Stadium. And Tampa Bay, as I've said in other videos, is the first team to host a Super Bowl. So we'll have to see what kind of impact that has in the game. Chiefs are coming into this game hot. Patrick Mahomes in the win against the Buffalo Bills went 29-38, had 325 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady, however, they did win against the Packers, and they looked pretty good, but Tom Brady in the second half of that game threw 3 interceptions. So, I mean, he's shown that he can be forced into mistakes, and it's going to be key for the Chiefs to, you know, take advantage of that. This is also the first Super Bowl appearance for Tampa Bay since 2003. So, first time they've been there in a while. Obviously, Kansas City won it last year. But if you look at Tampa Bay's roster, led by Tom Brady, he's about as seasoned to this game as it gets. I mean, this is his 10th Super Bowl appearance in 21 years. I don't think you'd want anyone else leading your team in a game like this, so that shouldn't matter too much. Tom Brady also leads all quarterbacks in the playoffs with 860 yards and 7 touchdowns. One of the big matchups to look at going into this game is Kansas City's offense versus Tampa Bay's defense. And honestly, just both of these offenses in general. So Kansas City leads the NFL coming into this game in offensive yards per game. You know, obviously they've got all the weapons that we mentioned before. Big play guys like Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman. Obviously Mahomes is probably the best in the league at getting the ball to him. But the Bucs defense ranks 6th in the NFL in fewest yards per game. So they've shown that they can slow down, you know, high-powered offenses like this. I mean, just look at what they did to New Orleans. That was a really good offense, and I mean, they forced turnovers and made it very, very hard on that offense to get going in that game. So it's going to be key for Tampa Bay to do the same thing to the Chiefs, although it's going to be much, much more difficult. However, the struggle for Tampa Bay is their pass defense, and that's where the Chiefs really eat teams alive. I mean, Tampa Bay ranks 21st in the league in pass defense, which is not the best at all. But they do rank 7th in the league in interceptions. So, like in the Saints game, they've shown that they can force turnovers. So that's going to be huge for the Buccaneers to, you know, force turnovers and get Kansas City out of their rhythm offensively if they want to have a chance at stopping them. Another big thing for Tampa Bay's defense is going to be pressuring the quarterback. This team has done a really good job all season long in getting to the quarterback. I mean, they're 4th in sacks and 2nd in QB hits. And last week against Green Bay, against a very good offensive line, they were able to get 5 sacks. So in order to slow down the Chiefs offense and keep Mahomes from hitting his receivers all night long, they're going to have to get pressure on him. It's going to be huge. Another strength of Tampa Bay is they have the #1 rush defense in all of the NFL. So it's also going to be big for them, keep that up and make Kansas City one-dimensional. Make them just have to throw the ball downfield, and they can try to adjust to that. Looking at Tampa Bay's offense, they are just as, if not more, capable of putting up the same kind of numbers as Kansas City. So Tampa Bay ranks second in pass yards per game, obviously led by Tom Brady, weapons like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. I feel like I mentioned in every video, but they've got all the weapons that they need in the passing game. But Kansas City's defense, though, they are 5th in the NFL in interceptions, and they had 2 when they played Tampa Bay earlier this season. So they've shown, and Tampa Bay has shown, that Tom Brady can make mistakes, and so it's going to be huge for Kansas City to force him into mistakes and capitalize off of that. Kansas City also has the 2nd fewest yards allowed to wide receivers this season. However, they give up the 5th most to tight ends, so guys like Rob Gronkowski and Cameron Brate can look to have a big game against that defense. Kansas City is also last in red zone defense, which is going to be something that Tampa Bay has to take advantage of. I mean, when they get in the red zone, and guys like Tom Brady are pretty good about things like this, but that's going to be the biggest spot where Tampa Bay can really take advantage of the weaknesses on Kansas City's defense. So that's going to be a huge matchup to look out for. Kansas City also has a 21st best rush defense, so they're not the best rush defense, but Tampa Bay also does not run the ball a whole lot. So it's going to be huge for them to get guys like Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones going so they can create balance and really attack this Kansas City defense where they're weak. Alright, so next I want to look at the key players from each team. So I was going to go ahead and start with Kansas City. First key player for Kansas City, pretty obvious, but Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes, best young quarterback in the league, looking to be the future of the league. I mean, it speaks for itself what this guy is capable of. And he showed last year that he can come out and perform in big games like this. But I mean, it's like every big game, your quarterback's got to turn in performance to win you this game. And that's going to be the first key for the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has got to go out, got to keep doing what he's doing, avoid mistakes, not let the Tampa Bay pass rush get to him, and make those big plays happen that's benefited the Chiefs all year long. Next key player for the Chiefs is Chris Jones. Chris Jones is one of the best linemen in the league and is one of the leaders of the Chiefs defense, and it's going to be huge for them in stopping the run because Tampa Bay is going to have to get the run going to keep balance against the Chiefs defense. So it's going to be huge for Chris Jones, not only stop the run, but also help get pressure on Tom Brady so that they can force mistakes here at Tampa Bay and cash in on turnovers like teams have done against Tampa Bay in the past. Moving on to the last key player, and not really a key player in particular, but just the Chiefs offensive line. It is going to be absolutely huge for the Chiefs offensive line to play well in this game. Tampa Bay pass rush, as I said earlier in this video, is tenacious, ferocious, whatever you want to call it. And if you don't do a good job blocking against them, they're going to cause problems all night for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. So it's absolutely huge for the offensive line to play well and give Mahomes time so he can make these big plays happen to his weapons. Moving on to the key players for Tampa Bay, first you got to look at, like I did with Kansas City, the quarterback, Tom Brady. Now obviously, Tom Brady, you kind of know what you're going to get from him in a game like this. I mean, the greatest quarterback of all time. He's been here plenty of times before. This is his 10th Super Bowl, so he's going to come to play. But Tom Brady and their offense have shown that they can make mistakes on occasion. I mean, 3 interceptions in the second half against the Packers. They really need to cut down on the turnovers if they want to win this game against a very, very talented Chiefs team. Next, Leonard Fournette. As I mentioned earlier, Tampa Bay is going to have to be balanced if they want to really attack and break down the Chiefs defense. And Leonard Fournette has played well throughout the playoffs. He's going to have to keep making plays out of the backfield and keep being a threat running the ball if the Tampa Bay offense really wants to be a threat against this athletic and talented Chiefs defense. Lastly, Devin White. Devin White is a guy that throughout these playoffs has been making huge plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, he made plays against the Saints. He's been pressuring the quarterback, helping out in the run. He's even gotten an interception. I mean, he's just been all over the field. He's going to have to continue to make plays against such a dynamic offense, and someone like him has to get in there and disrupt things, to keep the Chiefs from having an easy time breaking down the Tampa Bay defense. Alright, so lastly, I want to look at the keys to the game for each team. I'm going to first look at Kansas City. So the first key to the game is protect Mahomes. I talked about this a lot already in the last part of the video with the key players, but yeah, that's going to be the number one thing for Kansas City on offense. Protect Mahomes, give Mahomes time, because the Buccaneers are great at putting pressure on the quarterback, and it's going to be essential for them to protect him and keep him from making mistakes and let him hit his targets down the field. Second key for the Kansas City Chiefs is force Brady into mistakes. Now, also as I mentioned earlier, Tom Brady has, even though he is the greatest of all time, has made his fair share of mistakes this season. Like last game, 3 interceptions against the Packers. When they played earlier this season, the Chiefs were able to pick off Brady twice, so it's going to be huge for the Chiefs defense to make plays and force Brady into mistakes and allow their offense to capitalize off of those mistakes. And lastly, attack Tampa Bay's secondary. Tampa Bay is by no means known for their pass defense, and Kansas City is by all means known for their pass offense. That is a matchup that they're going to have to take advantage of. No silly turnovers. Just make the big plays that they've been able to make all season, and they will, I think, be able to attack Tampa Bay's defense with relative ease. Moving on to Tampa Bay, the first key is the opposite of the first key for Kansas City, and that is put pressure on Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is an insane quarterback, and when you give him time and you give him the just free space to work, he will kill you. But Tampa Bay has shown that they are capable of rushing the quarterback, creating mistakes, and that is something they're going to have to do in order to have a chance at stopping this ruthless passing attack that Kansas City has. Next, on offense, Tampa Bay, get the run game going, create balance on offense. Leonard Fournette and Rojo are going to be huge. They're going to have to be huge in order to break down this athletic, talented Kansas City defense. Create balance. If they just throw the ball, if you just throw the ball and not have any balance against any NFL team, you're going to struggle. But especially against a defense that is good at stopping the pass that Kansas City is, they're going to have to create balance, and Kansas City's going to have to respect the run if Tampa Bay wants to be successful getting the ball downfield like they want to. And lastly, on defense for Tampa Bay is just prevent big plays. Kansas City has been killing teams all season with just big plays with the playmakers that they have. And if Tampa Bay allows too many big plays, plain and simple, they're going to lose this game. There's no way around it. Moving on to my prediction, this game, like I said, it's going to be a game for the ages. Both of these teams have plenty of weapons that will create for a fun, entertaining Super Bowl. But in a game like this, I can't go against Brady. Now, I know, the Chiefs are one that won it last year, probably have the slightly more talented team, but Tom Brady, he's been there, done that, and he's not ready to go away yet. So I can't go against Brady. I think the Buccaneers are going to win it. I've got 31-27 Tampa Bay. Yo, thank y'all so much for watching. It's the best time of year for football. It is officially Super Bowl week, and I am more than excited, and I hope y'all are too, because I think we are getting to witness a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl, and you can't miss it. I think it's going to be a great game, and a game we should all just sit back and enjoy. But yeah, with that being said, I hope y'all enjoy the video, and as always, Godspeed.